Hola mi gente. For those who don't already know who I am, my name is Dale Amor and I do videos on hair, skin, and health. Today, I'm going to be focusing on the importance of incorporating deep conditioner in your hair routine. Also, the balance in which you need to have between protein and moisturization. Last but not least, hair porosity. A lot of people don't know about hair porosity and how important it can be in understanding how to deal with your hair in particular. So, with that being said, estoy aquí con un otro video y vamos a comenzar. Okay guys, so I'm coming at you with freshly washed hair because in this video I wanted to mainly focus on the deep conditioning and the other things that I mentioned earlier in the video so that you guys can get the most out of the information that benefits you potentially. So basically how I do my deep conditioning is you know, I always gotta look like somebody honestly when I'm doing this. Basically, what I have here is hot olive oil. It's not hot to the point to where it came to like a boil or anything like that. It's more so to heat up and work as a hot oil treatment in a way when basically applying my deep conditioner. Now, the deep conditioner that I'm using today is from Aussie Moist, and I don't know if you guys can like see that, but it's from Aussie Moist, and basically I put the conditioner into the oil, and I like the oil to pretty much, well, I like the conditioner to pretty much sit in the oil for a bit so that when I actually start applying it, it's not like super loose and drippy and stuff like that, even though it's probably going to be like that anyway. But I do this because I have low porosity hair. And when you have low porosity hair, it's basically your hair's cuticle is sealed shut. Like it's hard for moisture to get in. And when the moisture is in, it doesn't really escape that fast or as quickly as a person with high porosity hair, which basically the hair, as easy as the moisture goes in, the moisture leaves out. Like they'll have super moisturized hair, and then within hours or maybe a day or so, their hair is just as dry as it was before they even applied anything to it. The goal that people usually try to accomplish is having medium porosity hair. And that's that hair that it's not a lot of effort that goes into getting the moisture in, but it's not escaping that fast either. So you're like that you know, beautiful medium pretty much for you know, that hair. And that doesn't have anything to do with your hair type, because hair type is basically how loose or tight your curl is. But the porosity relies on how easily your hair is susceptible to moisture. And if it keeps the moisture, if it doesn't keep moisture, that's pretty much what it is. Now, I know you're probably asking like, okay, so you're saying something about this porosity thing. How do you find out what your porosity is? And it's a few different ways. I only use one particular way because I feel like it's super effective. Basically, you have to do this test. It's a porosity test. You basically have to do this test with freshly washed hair. You cannot add anything to it. Like once that hair is, once you did whatever you had to do with your hair, you cannot add any type of moisturizer, like a leave-in or any type of oils or anything to your hair when you're doing this test. Why? Because you're testing this hair in room temperature water, preferably, and it's a one strand, and you lay it there. You basically place it up there, like you don't dip it in, you just basically drop it onto the top of the water, and you wait about 5 minutes. If your hair is still floating at the top, that means that more likely you have low porosity hair, which means that your hair cuticle is not allowing water in. So what's happening is it's just floating on the top. But if you have medium porosity hair, basically however deep the water is in that cup, like you pretty much want to just fill the cup up about maybe a little more than halfway. If the hair floats to the middle and it's kind of staying there consistently, it's not going up nor down, then you have medium porosity hair, which kind of goes with the territory because it's literally right there in the middle. But if you have high porosity hair, obviously knowing low porosity hair and medium porosity hair, high porosity hair is going to have your hair basically floating all the way to the bottom, because it's pretty much the hair that the cuticle is wide open and is basically floating to the bottom because there's nothing holding it from absorbing all the water. And pretty much like when you put something in water that has a bunch of holes in it, it's going to float to the bottom probably, if it's not plastic, because you know plastic is, you know, that one thing that is the exception. But yeah, that's basically how you have to determine what your hair porosity is. And also when you're applying certain products to your hair, you can kind of figure out like, I might have either high porosity hair or low porosity hair, because when I put products in, I feel like the products are just sitting on top of my hair and it's not actually penetrating my hair shaft. Or you can be that person who complains about, you know, my hair, when I put moisturizer in it, it's good for like that day, and then the next day it's super dry, which means that you probably have high porosity hair, just because your hair is not holding moisture very long. It's just what it is. So medium porosity hair, you could probably last a good minute before you decide like, oh, you know what, I could probably put a little bit more moisturizer in here. It's been a few days and you know, it probably needs it now. You know, just to kind of have that attentiveness and that maintenance that your hair may need depending on your hair texture and different things like that. So we're not just going completely off of hair porosity. Hair texture sometimes call for you to be a little more attentive with your moisturizer. I want to touch bases on protein versus moisturizer. Now, when a person's hair is lacking protein, your hair basically needs protein. Like it's a very important element that is absolutely needed in your hair routine. Now, how you apply this protein is at your own discretion. Now, you can go old school and apply an egg yolk to your hair. Just put it all in and on every strand and just basically let it dry up in your hair. And you know, you have like that stiff Frankenstein kind of look going on for you. And do it that way. Or you can find a product that has protein or that is a protein treatment product and apply that to your hair and do it that way. But if you want to be cost efficient, I would do the egg yolk, because who doesn't have eggs? You know, or unless you just don't eat eggs, but you know, you can buy it specifically for that purpose and do that probably maybe once every 2 weeks or once a month, depending on how much your hair requires that. But that's the protein. Now, when you do only protein and you're not adding a deep conditioner or you're not adding much moisture to your hair, having too much protein in your hair or treating your hair on a protein basis it makes particularly curly hair or maybe any other type of hair type super brittle, and that makes your hair prone to breakage. And for people who have like different hair goals, like, oh, I want my hair to be down to the middle of my back, you're compromising the integrity of your hair when you're just adding proteins and you're not incorporating moisturizers and trying to create that specific balance. Your hair breaks off pretty much. So although you put in protein, because people are like, oh, your hair needs protein, this is what our hair is made of, and da da da. When they put too much of that, then the hair just breaks off. So if you're actually trying to go for a specific length, you're going to be compromising your hair retention, which is how long your hair can grow due to how you handle it, how you take care of it. When it comes to the moisturizer, you can't have too much moisturizer either, because I don't know how many of you guys have experienced this out there, but when you have too much moisturizer in your hair, it makes your hair super elastic. Now that's not good either, because when your hair is super stretchy, it can cause other problems with your hair. I don't know if the lymph retention thing would be compromised in particular, because I haven't done like in-depth research about that, but having too much elasticity in your hair means that your hair is oversaturated with moisture. You're adding way more moisture in there than you're doing anything else, and it's like, where's your protein? Where's that balance that you're trying to look for when it comes to the overall health of your hair? Because if your hair is not, it's going too far. If your hair is going, I'm Latino and I'm speaking with a country accent. If your hair is has too much, moisture in it, and it doesn't have that protein that it needs, then now you're dealing with hair that's stretching, and that's, I can only really say like overly saturated. Like your hair, you're pulling out your hair and it's just not popping. That's the example that I can use when it comes to a person's hair that has too much moisture in it. Like maybe you're doing your deep conditioners like every day, because some people, they feel like they need to wash their hair every day due to oil buildup or just the type of hair that they have. And they're adding moisture, because if you have to do it every day, or if you're doing it every other day, as far as washing it, you do have to add moisture into that. But I don't recommend that, because your hair's natural oils are the most important oils. The oils that we add to hair is basically just substituting, kind of like when you take a multivitamin. Your body is already producing these things that you need within like the food intake that you have, depending on your diet. But when you just keep using multivitamins, then your body feels like it doesn't need to produce what it's supposed to naturally. So I'll probably do another video on things like that, because I feel like you guys really should know how to kind of be on and off of certain things. Like us as humans, we cannot handle too much of anything. So with that being said, I'm gonna show you guys how I'm applying this into my hair with this, hot oil versus the deep conditioner, and yeah. I'm basically mixing this up because it's not gonna do it for you. So. Stuff smells good, like really good. Kind of like you might want to taste it good, but I'm not gonna. Good, bring it all up. Try to like massage my scalp a little bit, just to kind of really get some, stimulation there. I'm pretty much gonna use all of this. Can't save it. So, get that front. Peace. So I'm basically massaging this in so that I can make sure that every strand is covered with this deep conditioner, because things like your ends are the oldest part of your hair, and you don't want to neglect any of that. You don't want to neglect any part of your hair anyway, but you definitely don't want to neglect your ends because it's the oldest part of your hair and it will break off if not, handled and cared for appropriately. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this up in a little top knot like that, and my next step is you really want to pretty much keep that heat and that warmth on the hair. For my hair being low porosity, I have to open up my cuticle. So with the warm oil versus the deep conditioner, I have to now take one of these, which is a regular plastic bag, and put it on my hair so it can conceal all of the heat and actually create more heat over the course of maybe 45 minutes to an hour. And once I take it off or whatever, I just rinse this out. I try not to rinse all of my conditioner out because it's good to leave just a little bit, and pretty much add whatever products I need to add in my hair, and that's pretty much the whole routine. That's the whole routine of adding your deep conditioner in there. Depending on, like, when you're adding the deep conditioner, it can prolong your wash and go, or it can prolong your wash routine, because you have to wait like a certain amount. Like, I recommend a person actually investing about an hour at least in the and how long you're basically leaving your deep conditioner in, because you want to give your hair, like, especially if you're only doing your deep conditioner like, once a week or every 2 weeks or so, give your hair a chance to actually absorb a lot of the goodness from it, so that you can have a better balance overall on your hair when it comes to what you want your hair to do. Because depending on the season, people have different problems with their hair. Like, they have crown issues because of the sun, or they'll just have, like, they'll start getting split ends during the winter time because it's so cold and they want to wear their hair out. It's different things that you have to kind of take into consideration when you're doing your hair, or when you're caring for your hair, because if you forget about it, it will forget about you, and then you'll start having different problems like hairline recedings, even for men and women. It's not just a guy thing. And just different hair problems, like parts of your hair that refuses to curl. Basically you not understanding your hair types, because we have, most of the time, people who have curly hair, they have multiple curl patterns. So you might have a curl pattern that ranges from 3 to 4, meaning 3A, 3B versus 4A, 4C, type, hair. But it's in one head. Like, so in the back, maybe you might have a more coarser or tighter curl, which is more likely to be type B. And then in the front, your hair pattern and your curls. Wow, your curls may be much looser for whatever reason it is. Like, we take different traits from different parts of our family. Like, from your mom's side, maybe people's hair are more straighter, or your father's side, or on your father's side, people have more coarse hair, or more, like a tighter curl, and you just have a combination, which is completely normal. completely normal. Just figure that out though, because you don't want to be treating one part of your hair a certain type of way, or you don't want to treat your hair a certain type of way, and then the parts that need a little bit more TLC, you're lacking on it, and you're wondering why your hair is not growing, or you're wondering why your hair is not doing what you want it to do. So I'm gonna put this on this plastic bag. Some people have shower caps and stuff like that. I feel like I don't want to just buy a whole bunch of shower caps or those plastic caps just to throw it in the garbage.
People like you make me sick.
So I'll get a bag that I was probably gonna throw away anyway at some point in time. Use it for that. It's completely normal. I'm gonna show you guys how I put it on, and do that. Once that get all nasty inside and is no longer useful, I'm gonna throw it in the garbage and not feel guilty about it.
You sound stupid!
Fucking dirty, bitch!
Not feel like that. I just threw away money because I literally bought the bag. See, I got this bag from the store that came with whatever I bought with it. So this bag has had different uses, and there's no guilt trip after that. There's no guiltiness like, oh wow, you just went out and actually just bought some plastic caps for your head, which is like, you know, it's a pretty bougie thing to do, and it's cool because, you know, sometimes people just prefer that, you know, just for like image purposes. But yeah, I have bouginess to me, but I'm not that bougie to just go out and buy like 100, you know, plastic caps, and I have like 100 of these, you know, just somewhere stuffed, and they need a use, you know. So I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna show you guys how I put this on, so you can, you know, see like, well, how do you put that bag on his head? Because, you know, that's a regular bag, and etc. Whatever. So put the bag on like this. That's why you need the top knot, because the top knot is going to keep your hair from getting in the way of when you put the bag on and everything just being up and in there, you know. So put the bag on like this, and I usually take the holes of the bag in the access space in the top, and I kind of like just smooth it back like this, so it looks like I actually have like a cap on, like a plastic cap on. And then I take the bag, whatever the access slack is, I'll literally turn that, like keep twisting it into like almost like a bun, like a little plastic, you know, fake ponytail bun, and I'll tie it in a knot. Once you actually start turning it and twisting it, you'll see how easy it is to create the knot after that. And then you just tuck the knot inside. So I'm gonna turn around so you guys can see. So you basically tuck the knot inside, like under, like that. And the last part, because you can't just throw a bag on your head and then think that's gonna be enough, in my opinion, because the bag is just there to keep whatever oils and stuff from getting on your good stuff. So I usually take a towel, one specifically for for your head shape and stuff like that, and I just put it on like so, and, you know, turn into somebody's auntie again, because this one is literally specifically for that. And you just pull it back or whatever. Don't worry about like the little that you see here. It's mostly the towel. The towel's purpose is to just add a little bit more heat to your scalp and your head, so that, you know, although it's plastic, it's still something else there that kind of helps with your heat administration. Yeah, your heat administration. So yeah, you just do this and you set a little timer, or if you don't have anything to really do or anywhere to really go, you can kind of just have your hair like this all day until you like, okay, let me wash this up so I can get my products in there, get it dried up, and then I can lay my head somewhere, you know. Because, you know, for curly hair, when you don't add heat, because I never add heat to anything that I do with my hair because it's damaging. And even when you do it on occasions, it's still causing some type of damage. Obviously you want to try to use like a heat protector or something like that, but it's still causing some type of damage because that's heat going to your hair, and it's literally either straightening it or it's drying it at a faster pace, and that could be, you know, it's mildly dangerous. It's not like something you got to be like, oh, I'm always damaging my hair drastically when I add a little bit of heat to it. And you know, there's diffusers, and obviously you have to put it on a cooler setting if you want to try to speed up the process. Maybe you have somewhere to go. Basically, I don't add any type of heat to my hair, so my hair is usually air drying. So when it's time for me to go to bed, depending on how late I decided to do my hair, I'm potentially wetting my pillowcases, or I have to put something on my head. And mind you, like, it's the summertime right now where I live, and now you're hot, but you don't want to ruin things with the oil or whatever else that's in your hair from you sealing your products in. So now you got to put something on your head that's gonna cause you to be hot, that's other than a bonnet, because I'm used to having a bonnet on my head when I go to sleep, because technically you're not supposed to sleep on materials that may pull your hair out over time. Like, it's not a oh, I'm gonna go bald tomorrow type situation. But if you do that all the time when you go to sleep and not have anything on your head, then at some point in time you start realizing that you're having a lot of breakage. Your lymph retention is not happening at all, and you might have like maybe slight bald spots depending on how much you move around, particularly in your sleep. So I'm gonna let this be on my head for maybe a couple hours. I don't want to go too crazy with it. Basically, guys, that's the whole process of adding the deep conditioner. And all of the products that I use in my videos, I'm going to put them down in the link below, so that you guys can, you know where to get certain things from, or, you know, just have something to refer back to when you're trying to figure out what I'm using, how I'm using it, and stuff like that. If you guys did not see my wash and go video, please check that video out, because then you'll actually see not really the products that I use today, but you'll see a combination of products that I used on that day when I did that wash routine and wash and go. So that one, I explained a few different things. I used a couple of products that maybe people haven't thought to use or didn't know that you could use. And yeah, just check that video out, and leave a comment down below to let me know what you thought of it. English is a challenge today. I'm gonna honestly say that, because I'm saying all kind of things that I'm not really trying to say, you know? But anyway, yeah, so in that video, I even lost my train of thought because it's just getting ridiculous with my speech today. So anyway, that's my video for today, guys. I hope this was very informative for you. And if you have any questions about anything else, just leave a comment down below, and I'll try to explain it to you as best I can, or I'll do another video specifically on that particular topic that you guys are curious about when it comes to certain things, because I like my videos to be under a certain time, because, you know, editing and me being like busy and stuff like that. But you guys can hit me up anytime to like ask me any type of questions, and I'll be completely willing to tell you and making myself available to, you know, explain certain things to you guys. But that's it for today, and I want you guys to live life, and I'll see you in the next video.